Because so many of you have shown interest in Pope Leo XIV, here are 100 fast, engaging facts about the current leader of the Catholic Church, a sweeping, story-driven journey through his life. 1. Pope Leo XIV was born Robert Francis Prevost in Chicago, becoming the 267th Pope and the first ever born in the United States. 2. He became the 266th successor of St. Peter after his election on May 8, 2025. 3. He chose the name Leo XIV because Pope Leo XIII inspired him with a bold, modern vision of human dignity, and because he wanted a name that connected past teaching with present challenges like artificial intelligence. 4. He was born on September 14, 1955, which is the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross. 5. His election broke a long-standing informal taboo against American popes due to fears of perceived political influence. 6. Despite his nationality, he has often been called the least American cardinal because of his global life. 7. He later became a citizen of Peru, a decision grounded in gratitude for the country that shaped his priesthood. 8. He holds citizenship in both the United States and Peru, after legally becoming Peruvian in August 2015. 9. He was born at Mercy Hospital in the Bronzeville neighborhood on Chicago's South Side. 10. He grew up in the suburb of Dolton, Illinois, where the village eventually purchased his childhood home for historic interest. 11. His heritage blends French, Italian, Spanish, and Black Creole roots from his mother's Louisiana family. 12. His father, Louis Prevost, served in the United States Navy during the Second World War and commanded a landing craft at the Normandy invasion. 13. His father later became superintendent of schools in Park Forest, Illinois. 14. His mother, Mildred Martinez, worked as a librarian and teacher in Catholic schools throughout Chicago. 15. Her Black Creole background connected the family to a rich cultural and Catholic tradition rooted in Louisiana. 16. He is the youngest of 3 brothers, joining older siblings Louis Martin and John Joseph. 17. His parents were deeply involved in parish life and encouraged their children to love the church. 18. His mother attended daily Mass, and his parents prayed the Rosary together every single day. 19. He served as an altar boy at St. Mary of the Assumption Parish in Riverdale, Illinois. 20. As a child, he played Mass at home using the family ironing board as his altar. 21. His brother John says he wanted to be a priest from the moment he could walk. 22. Priests frequently visited their home, drawn by his mother's hospitality and home-cooked meals. 23. He attended St. Augustine's Seminary High School in Michigan from 1969 to 1973. 24. At that school, he excelled academically, earning places on the honor roll and in the National Honor Society. 25. He served as editor-in-chief of the yearbook and as secretary of the student council. 26. He captained the bowling team and led the speech and debate team in statewide competitions. 27. He became known for tutoring classmates who struggled in difficult subjects. 28. He graduated from Villanova University in 1977 with a degree in mathematics. 29. While at Villanova University, he worked as a cemetery groundskeeper at St. Denis Parish in Pennsylvania. 30. During his studies, he lived in the Augustinian friary and voluntarily took extra Latin and Hebrew. 31. Only 13 students completed his seminary class, and he was among the few who pursued priesthood. 32. He entered the Augustinian novitiate on September 1, 1977. 33. He is the first Augustinian priest in history to become pope. 34. One concrete fact about the papacy that shaped him deeply was Pope St. John Paul II's global missionary outreach, which influenced his own universal perspective. 35. The Augustinian motto, Truth, unity, charity continues to guide his pastoral decisions. 36. He professed his first vows in 1978 and his solemn vows in 1981. 37. He earned a Master of Divinity from Catholic Theological Union in 1982. 38. During his formation, he taught physics and mathematics at St. Rita High School in Chicago. 39. He became a deacon in 1981 at St. Clare of Montefalco Parish in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. 40. He was ordained a priest in Rome in 1982 by Archbishop Jean Jadot. 41. He completed both his licentiate and doctorate in canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas, known as the Angelicum. 42. His doctoral thesis examined the spiritual responsibilities of Augustinian superiors. 43. He emphasized that all genuine authority begins with listening and humble service. 44. His leadership continues to draw heavily from St. Augustine's theology of loving community. 45. He joined Villanova's pro-life group in 1974, promoting a culture that protects all human life. 46. He opposed abortion, euthanasia, capital punishment, and same-sex marriage, following long-established Catholic teaching. 47. He speaks English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Portuguese fluently. 48. He also reads Latin and German, two essential languages for theological work. 49. His fluency in Italian came from years in Rome, while Spanish became natural during decades in Peru. 50. He learned some Quechua, the indigenous language family spoken by Andean communities. 51. Before ever traveling to Peru, he was already known for his missionary spirit and desire to serve outside the United States. 52. He arrived in Peru in 1985 and was affectionately known as Padre Roberto. 53. His first year in Peru centered on disaster relief after severe El Niño storms. 54. He served as Chancellor of the Diocese of Chulucanas in northern Peru and worked closely with Bishop John McNabb. 55. In the city of Trujillo on Peru's northern coast, he spent a decade forming young Augustinian priests. 56. He served as judicial vicar in the regional ecclesiastical court of Trujillo for 9 years. 57. He taught canon law, patristics, and moral theology at the major seminary of Trujillo. 58. He actively recruited new vocations for both the local church and the Augustinian order. 59. He led parish ministry for more than a decade in a poor suburb of Trujillo called La Esperanza. 60. He later served at another parish, Our Lady of Montserrat, located in the historic center of Trujillo, from 1992 to 1999. 61. His work among the poor shaped his lifelong dedication to social justice. 62. He became friends with theologian Gustavo Gutierrez, a foundational figure of liberation theology. 63. He often described himself simply as a missionary at heart. 64. He considered his years in Peru the most formative of his entire priestly life. 65. He publicly denounced corruption during the presidency of Alberto Fujimori. 66. He defended victims of military abuses during Peru's internal armed conflict. 67. He protected human rights during the violence of the Shining Path insurgency, advocating for civilians caught between the rebels and state forces. 68. He traveled on horseback to remote Andean communities to celebrate the sacraments. 69. He offered support to Venezuelan refugees who faced widespread discrimination in Peru. 70. In his first public greeting as Pope, he addressed the people of Chiclayo warmly in Spanish. 71. He became Bishop of Chiclayo in 2015 and served until 2023. 72. The Diocese of Chiclayo had long been known for a strong presence of the Opus Dei movement. 73. He earned a reputation for listening to diverse voices before making decisions. 74. He promoted young vocations and supported programs for Venezuelan migrants. 75. He helped survivors of human trafficking learn new skills and regain hope. 76. He created a diocesan ecology commission and appointed a laywoman as its director. 77. Locals remember him as an impeccably dressed bishop despite the region's intense summer heat. 78. He became known for building bridges across theological and political divides. 79. A significant papal milestone in his life was witnessing Pope Benedict XVI's resignation, which shaped his understanding of modern papal responsibility. 80. Peruvians celebrated his appointment as Bishop of Chiclayo with light-hearted memes featuring Inca Cola and ceviche. 81. In 1999, he was elected provincial of his Augustinian province. 82. In 2001, he became Prior General of Augustinians worldwide, serving for 12 years. 83. He lived in Rome during his global leadership of the order. 84. He visited Augustinian communities around the world, strengthening mission networks. 85. His first meeting with Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio in 2004 was awkward because they had sharply different expectations during a discussion on religious life. 86. They later reconciled, and Pope Francis eventually chose Prevost as a trusted advisor. 87. His leadership style emphasized academic rigor, especially in canonical policy and governance. 88. He implemented transparent financial guidelines in his province to promote accountability. 89. He expanded formation programs for young Augustinians to include more intercultural training. 90. His diocese later confirmed that he consistently followed strict procedures in clergy abuse cases. 91. Journalist Pedro Salinas called him one of the most reliable church leaders in Peru. 92. Critics connected to a dissolved religious order attempted to discredit him, but failed to produce evidence. 93. He was consecrated bishop on December 12, 2014, the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. 94. He served as vice president of the Peruvian Bishops' Conference. 95. He acted as apostolic administrator of the port city of Callao during the pandemic. 96. His high approval rating among Peruvian bishops was considered extraordinary. 97. As Pope, he strengthened Vatican policies for the protection of minors worldwide. 98. Pope Francis appointed him to several major Vatican dicasteries, including the Dicastery for Bishops and the Dicastery for Clergy. 99. After 9 years in Chiclayo, Pope Francis called him back to Rome in 2023. 100. He did not want to leave Peru, but he accepted the call to serve the global church with his whole heart. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comments which facts surprised you the most. And don't forget to share it with someone who would love learning about Pope Leo XIV. This is Catholic Snack.